To Leadership with Sonia today, and I am talking live with two exceptional leaders, Rachel, who is from Inclusi, and Tasha, who's from Inclusi as well. And I must say, I'll get you to say hello. So, Tasha, do
Hi,
you want to say
Sonia.
hello?
Hi, everybody.
Oh,
I'm Rachel, the Chief Executive Officer in Inclusi. It's so awesome to be here with you today. Very excited about having this chat. Love to talk about anything around leadership, diversity, anything. So I'm here to have a great time. So thanks so much for having us, Sonia.
thank you. What about you, Tasha?
Yeah, I'm Tasha. I'm the Strategic Partnerships Manager at Inclusi. And yeah, I've watched many of your LinkedIn Live, Sonia, so I'm very excited that now I'm on this side of it. But yeah, really looking forward to having the conversations today.
They are the best. Yes, we're very excited. We're very, very excited having you both on today, in particular, because I don't know if you've been watching. I know you have been, but everyone that's listening and watching, that Rachel won CEO of the Year at our 2024 Outstanding Leadership Awards. So very, very exciting. And you also won Courageous Team of the Year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did as well. So for part of our team that deliver our services, and they took out that award as highly commended too, and I couldn't be prouder.
And also you won the which was kind of funny because our MC forgot. We had the overall Outstanding Leader of the Year, which was a bit of a surprise. And Bianca Dye is like, "Oh, thanks everybody." And then we're like, "Bianca, there's one more award." She was like, "Oh no." So Rachel was up on stage quite a few times, and she won the overall Outstanding Leader of the Year. So how did you enjoy the evening?
It was amazing. I'm still in complete disbelief. I was only talking about it in a meeting this morning, and I keep saying I have to either look at the photos or actually touch the awards and actually let it sink in, because it still is completely surreal to me. I still think I've dreamt it. So it was just an incredible night. The awards night was amazing, but what I think I was most proud of is to actually be in a room with so many incredible leaders. It's just amazing to see. And it was hundreds of incredible leaders. And to be there with people that are doing exceptional things with their teams and their organizations, it's incredible. So I really thank everybody that's part of that process, and really thank all the people and all the leaders that were part of that process as well. I think we all have so much we can learn from each other, and that really gets me excited.
Yeah, it was an incredible evening. We had so much fun, and I think the photos did demonstrate the fun that we did have, particularly the photo booth. A few people reached out to us and said we didn't realize everyone was going to get access to the photo booth.
They're going to share the
photos.
My daughter was one of them. She was like, "Mom, no!" I said, "Look, we had a great time. We were so proud. We were so proud and so honoured to have you there on the night and to see you on stage so many times. So well deserved. So tell me all about what you do. What's Inclusi? What's your why? Why do you do what you do? Tell us about you.
Why are we here at Inclusi? Well, we have a very clear and concise mission, and that's to reduce social isolation and loneliness for older Australians. And we're doing that at the moment because we have a passion, and I share a particular passion around social connection and the importance of social connection. And we actually want to change the world by making one difference with one connection at a time. I have a true belief that social connection is the center of everything that we do. It's just as important as the air that we breathe, the food that we eat. As human beings, we connect. We're doing it right now. This is how we're supposed to interact. And what breaks my heart is there's so many people out there that are not connected because they may not have friends, they may not have family, they might be isolated due to their location, they might be isolated due to their health. And we have a mission to make sure that we get out to every one of those people and bring them into our community and connect them and feel like they have a belonging, somewhere to be, somewhere to be part of, to share those beautiful stories and experiences. And we want to carry those legacies on forever. So we have a huge purpose here, and we're wanting to continue to grow that. So we've just achieved over 100,000 hours of connection this month, and we are wanting to make that 1 billion. So we are here to make a difference, and I'm just so excited about it.
So your goal is 1 billion hours.
1 million.
Well, it was 1 million, but Sonia, I'll take 1 billion.
Come on, Sonia, don't give me that goal.
So I thought you said 1 billion. I was like, that's a real. I could see you doing that. I could absolutely see you doing that. But 1 million, yeah. Let us know how we can help with that, because I just love what you're doing. I have now every morning. Tash and I live actually nearby each other, and I go for a walk up to the local Ormiston Creek. There's like this beautiful creek, and park up the road. And most mornings I go for a walk, and there's a heap of beautiful ducks that I just adore. And one in particular is a one-legged duck that I go and feed. And I've started connecting to this wonderful 94-year-old man that walks to feed the ducks as well. His name is Chris. And every morning we have a beautiful conversation. We talk about the ducks, and I love listening to his stories. And I think we need to be connecting more. We need to be, I think that, and it's actually interesting, and I want to talk to you about this. I was actually talking to someone a few weeks ago about, what do you think is missing for leadership today, or leaders today? And someone said to me, and I went, I totally agree. We're not connecting enough. We are unable to truly connect with each other. We're not connecting. We're becoming so busy. What are your thoughts on this whole, should we, we need to be connecting so much more, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think connection, it doesn't matter which, I suppose, realm that lives in, whether it's community connection, whether it's family connection, whether it's connection with friends, work connection and connection with our colleagues and our team is just as important. And, something that we really do focus on here at Inclusive, because we've got to walk the talk, where we consider ourselves experts and master connectors in this space. So we do a lot to try and connect as a team. And that can be really challenging, because here at Inclusive, our entire team, our entire workforce, including all of our volunteers, we all work remotely. So we've got that extra challenge that we need to stand up to, because I get questioned all the time is, how do you do anything as an organization when you're completely remote? How do you stay connected with your team? And I think we actually do it really, really well here at Inclusive. And it's something that I think, it doesn't matter who you are or what community you're in, connection's got to be a focus. Getting your people to connect and stay connected, you achieve more. You understand each other more, you reach more, you go for more, you try harder more, you do all of those things more if you're connected as one. So absolutely, connection is just as important from a leadership perspective as well.
So what are your thoughts, Tasha?
Look, I definitely think that we, sadly, I think we've lost that sense of community, and it's why I've worked in community for so long, because we've just become so much more isolated and insular in our little worlds. And so that's what I do love about Inclusive, that we're not any different to your local community centre that you might decide to pop in one day because you want to see what kind of offerings they have. We just happen to do it virtually. So it is just a community centre that offers all sorts of different programs that you can engage in and find other friendships and peer-to-peer connections, but you do it online. And for some people, I think after COVID and everybody was forced to do this type of connection, people started to realize that this is a valid way of connecting. And it is not only that social connection is vital, because when we all got put into lockdown, mental health crises skyrocketed. And these were people that here in Brisbane, we only had a 2-week lockdown, but, some of the people that we're supporting have gone months without having somebody in their home, and they don't talk to anybody for weeks and weeks on end. So it does really impact your health. And I just think if everybody got a little bit more focused on what can I do to just reach out in my community and maybe talk to my neighbour or something. And now that you've said, Sonia, that you are, meeting this gentleman while you go and feed the ducks, I will drop some brochures over to you so you can give it to him.
Absolutely.
I would really love
somebody in our community.
So tell me, how did it all begin? Tell me about your story.
Okay, so well, Inclusi, not as you see it today, but traditionally in the same sense, we actually started about 51 years ago. Not as Inclusi, we've had 4 business names since then. I promise this is the last one to the team because we've trademarked this one. But
okay, good idea.
we started back 51 years ago, actually, with the same purpose. So we were a local organisation that built an activity centre in the outskirts of Brisbane, and with the same purpose of bringing older Australians together to connect. And that was in a physical sense, and connecting around activities that they loved and enjoyed and people wanted to do, such as dancing and cards and craft and things that everybody still does today. And it's taken 51 years, and we've actually returned back to that core purpose. A lot happened in between, but we've come back to our core reason of why we started in the first place. And we do exactly that, is we connect people, and we do it through things that they're passionate about and interests that they have. The only difference is, rather than doing it in a physical location, we do it in this digital front. And what I love about that is it's been able to give us a whole lot of opportunity for innovation, but it also is made it able for us to have a greater reach. So rather than just looking after people in a local community area, which there's nothing wrong with that, I love that there's lots of organizations that do that. But for us, when we're talking about connection and we're talking about connecting millions of hours of connection, we need to have a much greater scope and reach. So we want to connect it into the homes of as many people as we can. And doing it in this format allows us to do that.
And it means that you can connect in your pajamas. You don't have to get dressed to go down to the local community centre. Stay in bed in your pajamas and you're still connecting in with people.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that you can connect in your PJs. There's nothing more comfy than being in your PJs. And
I think it's your real self in your PJs. And you're presenting your true self. There's no front. There's no, we haven't got the lipstick on today. There's none of that. We are absolutely our true selves and presenting our true selves through connection in our PJs. I love it. I am not in my PJs right now, though, I will say.
I am from the bottom down, I'll be honest.
I'll say I've got my gym pants on, which I seem to look at a lot more than PJs these days.
No, I've been in my PJs and not like up here, but yeah. I love that, Tasha. I love that you're in your PJs. I was going to say, can you show us? But that's okay. It's all right.
I'm flexible enough.
Oh, I love that. So tell me about some of these great programs and how people can get involved, and tell me a little bit more about what are some of the things that you do and how we can help you.
Look, like I said, we are essentially a community centre. So all the sort of things you'd expect to see at a community centre, we do that. So we've got, and everything that we do is developed in consultation with our community. So we ask them what they're interested in and we create the programs around that, because, we're niche in that we're providing services for older Australians. So we want to make sure they're relevant to them. So we have lots of engaging clubs like, bingo or trivia games. There's a karaoke club, which is the one I usually suggest people come along and join, because if you doubt how effective, virtual connection is, come along and see how we run a karaoke club for people all in different states, all singing the same song at slightly different lag times. It is hilarious and so much fun. And it does demonstrate how effective this is. But we also have educational programs. So that's probably something that we're always looking for, is organisations that can come and share some of their knowledge with our community. So we've had people like the NBN have come in and talked to our community about scam awareness, or we've had health organisations like Stroke Foundation or Diabetes and Nutrition Australia, or even just things like a lawyer who's willing to come along and give them some advice on how to set up power of attorney or do their wills and things. So the same way that if you're at your local community centre, they would run some information nights. We do that. But it's all virtual, so lots of different ways. And honestly, our clubs change every 3 months, and there's heaps of fun. One of the ones that I didn't expect to be successful, but it is a Minecraft. That we had an audience of our community that wanted to learn how to play Minecraft. We think maybe to play with the grandkids or something, but they love it. So
yeah, there's something for everybody. There's our Connect, Learn and Enjoy that you see behind us at the moment. sums up the types of different programs that we have, and we have something for everybody. And as what Tasha said, we get that engagement from our community about what they want to do, because we're here for them. So we want to know what it is that they want to do, and they come to us with all these great ideas about let's do this or let's do that. And really, in this type of environment, we can pretty much create anything and everything. So it's pretty exciting. And the programs that we have, they're just nonstop fun, educational, and people are learning skills as they go along as well. So one of the things that we absolutely recognize is because people are working in a digital front, they can continue to build their skills around that. So we help support and grow those skills too. So people will come into our programs and might learn how to use Google or how to upload photos into Facebook so that they can share it with their friends and family, or just basic digital skills, because that is something that is definitely a concern for people, particularly of our older Australian demographic, that the digital divide is growing, and that we're wanting to continue to work to close that. So they're not only learning and growing those skills, but they're connecting and having a whole lot of fun all at the same time.
Oh my gosh, I love what you're doing, and I'm definitely going to be checking out some of these amazing programs, particularly the karaoke. I don't mind.
Tuesday afternoon, Sonia, come along and join us for karaoke.
Yeah, if you like to have a bit of a dance, have a bit of a sing, come along and check it out. Into Travel is another one that's really popular with our audience as well. So we take them around to different countries every week and explore all the tourist areas or the cuisine, or talk about anything that's going on in that space, and also share stories. So it might be that our participants have physically been there and wanting to share their experiences through those stories as well. So there's really something for everyone, and it's just so much fun. But I love the educational part as well. So there's a lot that we do around the e-safety commissioner, as Tasha mentioned as well. So I think it's important that we learning and sharing those experiences as we go along.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's connection, it's learning, it's enjoying, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love everything that you're doing. And I'd love to ask you some questions around leadership, because obviously this is Leadership with Sonia, and that's my space. And this is why, you won all these incredible awards because of your leadership and your culture. I mean, what does leadership mean to you both?
I'm happy to go first. For me, leadership.
You won all the awards, Rachel. You start.
Leadership for me means like everything. I can't say enough how honoured I am to be a leader, and I do not take it lightly. I take it extremely seriously. I know how much impact somebody who is a leader that has on somebody's lives, whether it's positive or unfortunately negative. And it's the greatest honor. It's my greatest achievement aside of my own family. I'm sure if my family were listening to this, they probably say that sometimes my leadership and my team come first. They have at times had to take a back seat, but I'm just so passionate about it, and it's something I have my entire career wanted to do. And I know, Sonia, when I talked to you about after the awards, recognizing, looking, reflecting back on those moments of that incredible night, it wasn't just what has been achieved in the last 12 months. It's not just what has been achieved in that night. It's been 23 years of my entire career and heart and soul, the old blood, sweat and tears. There has been literal blood in some of that background story as well. I did used to work at a hospital, so but
okay.
But it's
that
been
been
everything for me. Yeah, so it's something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I'm completely honoured to be part of.
Thank you so much, Rach. What about you, Tasha?
Yeah, look, I think I've only got comfortable with that leadership sort of tag in the recent years, I suppose. I certainly have always felt like I've been a mentor for a lot of people before, and I didn't really put those two things together as mentoring being part of leading. And kudos to Rachel that she probably has helped me define that more as me being a leader now. Particularly, I've shared quite openly that I am neurodivergent. I have ADHD and autism. And so for me, that felt like that was maybe something that would impair me from a leadership role. But, I strongly believe now that it's those particular things is what makes me a good leader. I think that the superpowers, which I kind of don't like that phrase, but I've used it anyway, but the superpowers of being neurodivergent, it gives you a different perspective. And I'm very proud of anyone who might see me as a leader. I'm very proud of that idea that, perhaps I've given some sort of influence or some sort of, encouragement to strive for more, because it's not about your title. I think we've got lots of people at Inclusi that may not work in a management area of, the tier of their role, but they're certainly leaders in their own areas. And, I think that's something that we live and breathe very well here, is that everyone can be a leader. It's got nothing to do with what your title happens to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel the same. For me, it's never, as I've gone through my career, I've never gone for what has been perceived as the title. I couldn't care about what my driver has always been the people and what I can do to help and support them and watch them grow. It's not about me at all. And I love that term that when you become a leader, you've got to realize it's not about you. It's got nothing to do with you. It's all about them. And when people actually understand that, I think that's when leadership really can flourish. And I absolutely follow a servant leadership style. And it's all about the people and my team. I have a philosophy, and that's very much about how I build the culture here at Inclusi, that if our team are happy, if they feel supported and they feel safe, everything else comes together. You don't have to worry about anything else as an organization, because then people come and they do their best work because they love to be here. And if I can do that, that's what it's all about. I often say, when people say, what do you do as a CEO? And I said, if I was to summarize what I do, it's to get everyone in my team's 2 feet to the side of the bed and love that where they work and be happy to come to work today. And if I can only achieve that, and of course there's so much that needs to happen to achieve that, but if I can achieve that, everything else, my job's done elsewhere. So it's all about making sure the team feel safe, feel supported, and love what they do.
Oh, I love that. It's so true that they put their feet on the ground and are excited about coming to work. And I'm a big one around that servant leadership as well, about how do we serve others and help others be more and do more. And I hope you don't mind me going down this path, because Tasha, you're talking about being neurodivergent. And, we work with a lot of people in our leadership programs and our coaching that are also neurodivergent. And I always use that word, that's a superpower as well. And it's great that it's really now coming, there's lots more conversations and a lot more people talking about neurodiversity and the power of neurodiversity and leadership in neurodiversity. Because when I was younger, it wasn't, I didn't even know about it, right? It's but today, why do you think that is?
Oh, there's a very clear reason why it is because women weren't included in the scientific studies until in the last sort of 15 years. So they didn't recognize that there was any such thing as ADHD or autism for women, because they'd only ever studied men. And so the concept everyone had was that Bart Simpson represents ADHD. And, as a girl with ADHD, I wasn't that hyperactive, fidgety Bart Simpson sort of person, but inside my brain was incredibly hyperactive. And, I was a dreamer and I didn't apply myself hard enough. And I was, flaky. And those are the things that we didn't recognize. That's how it presents in girls. And so that's why you're seeing such a huge spike in women being diagnosed with ADHD, because they finally decided to include us in the studies.
I
Isn't
didn't
that crazy?
know that.
Isn't it crazy that women weren't even considered for the study? It just blows my mind.
We could go on a whole other topic on that.
I think we need to jump on and talk about this further, because I'm actually now very curious about this, because I was reflecting the other day. My daughter has recently been diagnosed with ADHD, and her and I were having a conversation about it. And obviously there was lots of conversations leading up to the diagnosis around it. And I had to fill out this questionnaire about her childhood and different things. And she was asking about me and my childhood. And I was trying to reflect the other day. And I remember I was 8. I was in grade 8, no, grade 3. And I remember during my childhood, I used to get a lot of feedback around this, around I got bored really easy. And I remember being at school with a piece of paper and I was just like this with a pencil going round and round and round and round with a pencil. And the teacher hit me in front of the class. And she came up and she slapped me and she said, "You've got to, this is ridiculous, Sonia. You're never paying attention and all this." And I thought to myself, oh, why am I doing this? Like, why am I constantly, does that make sense? Like, and I said to my daughter, I wonder if I don't know, like I was always not
It's
the
genetic.
Yeah. Hence,
I
even
think why you're
today,
seeing
I'm
so
like,
many-
sorry?
Well, part of why you're seeing so many middle-aged women particularly, but middle-aged people now getting diagnosed is because we've gotten a lot better at recognizing it in children. So, you know, you've got a school-age child, you take them along and they get diagnosed with ADHD or autism. And the first thing the doctor's probably going to do is look at you now and say, well, it's genetic, so do you want to do the tests as well? And a lot of people are doing exactly what you've done. They've gone, when they got the list of all the symptoms for the kids, they went, well, that was me as a child and I thought that was perfectly normal. But and then look, it is normal.
It is, yeah.
The term neurodivergent is only because it diverges from what society considers normal. And if we all start to embrace that there's a wider scope of what's normal, we wouldn't be divergent anymore. We would just be our all individual selves. And but society at the moment isn't very well set up for neurodivergent people. So that's why, you know, some people will consider it a disability because our society isn't very supportive of it yet, but we're getting better.
I think we definitely are. And when I went like that, I meant it as in like my team are constantly saying to me, Sonia, like you're always going, this, can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do this? What about this? And they're like, Sonia, you never focus. I'm like, yeah, but I'm an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, like, aren't we supposed to be chasing butterflies all the time? But I think we're getting like, now I'm kind of like, I think we are getting better. And the thing is we need to be, because it's, I actually do think it's a superpower. It is, like, for me, it's actually, wow, like we should be embracing, personally, I think we should be, embracing everybody, but
it's a superpower if you've got all the right support systems around you. And I think the only why I have flourished in this role is because Inclusi has been incredibly supportive, and you know we're building a whole framework around our neurodiversity inclusion processes, and the fact that this organisation is so willing to accommodate individual requests, whether you're neurodivergent or not, any individual requests. That's what's given me the opportunity to flourish in this role, because you know traditionally I haven't stayed in any roles more than probably 12 months, and I'm hitting 2.5 years here, and promise you I'm not going anywhere because I really love this job, and that's credit to I'm told that often too. You know, I stay because one of the things I reflect on this with Rachel yesterday, that I didn't even know that I had ADHD at the time, but in the interview I had with Rachel, I was starting to suspect it, but I went into every interview I've ever had worried that about the time the person was going to ask me why I have so much diversity in my resume, because I've worked in every industry, like every possible industry you can imagine, and I've chopped and changed jobs every 12 months, and somebody would inevitably say, why would I hire you? You don't ever stay anywhere. And that's always a hard question to answer in an interview and to spin it in a positive light. So I was ready for that. But Rachel didn't ask me that. Rachel looked at my resume and first of all complimented me on saying, wow, you've had such a wide range of experiences. You must have learned a lot of things in those different jobs. And I was like, wow, yes, I have. Somebody finally acknowledged that. But then the key comment to me was, rather than saying, you know, why would I hire you? You've done all these things. She said to me, so what can I do to keep you engaged and interested in this job? And it's the first, like, I'm actually getting a bit emotional saying it, because it was the first time somebody went, it's not your fault. Like, she didn't say that, but I could tell that that was her going, you know, the other jobs didn't keep you interested, and that was their problem. But I promise I'll keep you interested. And she has. So, yeah, but it's such a simple tweak to your language, but it made me feel accommodated and welcomed, and I felt like I belonged. So,
and that's where I think we're getting diversity, we need to work on that diversity piece and look at it that there's so much richness, there's experience. It's absolutely beautiful. It's something that we should be grabbing hold of with two hands and encouraging more people to be part of that discussion and bringing more diversity to the table, because my goodness, what can we achieve with so many different thoughts and processes and strengths, and everybody just being different? We're just going to achieve so much more. It's a beautiful thing, and we need to be having the right conversations around it. And then further than that, we need to be supporting people with it. So, it's something that I absolutely love. And I'm so proud of Inclusi having such a diverse team. We have an amazing diverse team. And we have to, because we're working with people, and people are beautiful and diverse, and we want to see more of it. So whatever we've got to do as an organization to make people feel, as I said, and that comes back to that comment of safety, that people need to feel that they can be themselves, that they can come to work as they are, as who they truly are, and not have to wear those masks all the time, but then get all the support that they need. And with that, they flourish, and we see the best out of those people. And why wouldn't you want that?
That's so true. That's so true. So it sounds like you're making a real difference to so many people out there. I would love to know, who's made a difference in your life? Like, is this a particular person or lead, like someone that has said something or done something that's really changed or had a fundamental effect on you?
Yeah, for me, I've got an executive mentor that I've been working with for many years yet, and I have him to thank. And I say this to him all the time. He goes, "You got there yourself," but I really do have him to thank for being a CEO. He was the first person that promoted me into a CEO position and believed that I was capable of it. I remember the conversation, even having it. The structure at the time. I was about to build a private hospital, and we will restructure it. And he goes, and Rachel's going to be the CEO. And I was like, what? did I hear that right? He just had so much belief in me, and I really truly looked up to him as a leader, because for many reasons. One, we share very much the same passion around servant leadership. But there's something that he said that I have followed my entire career, that since I've known him, which is always take the hard right and not the easy wrong. And it's been something that I've used alongside values when I make decisions, that I always have to check myself against and go, I know this is the real hard decision, but it's the right decision. And it's always held me in good esteem ever since. And I've never been steered wrong because of it. And I use it all the time. And he's just been a fantastic mentor. I really look up to him. And if I could be half the leader that he is one day, I've achieved something.
I think you are. You're not half the leader, you're equal leader.
Thank you, Tasha.
Look, I mean, it's obviously I just explained that story about my interview. So that Rachel has made a huge impact on my life, obviously. So that it feels a little bit glib because we're here together and she's my boss, but I promise you it's genuine, because she's just given me so much opportunity to grow in this role. And I watched that TV show, Old People's Homes for Teenagers, and got really obsessed with the idea of intergenerational programs. And she, even though it had nothing to do with my job, she was like, sure, go ahead, do it. And I built this program that we have at Inclusive for connecting older people with school-age kids. And, it wasn't in my job description at all, but she knew that if she let me go and do that little passion project, I'd still do all my other jobs, but I loved being here so much that helped me. And then when I talked about the neurodivergent thing, and I said we wanted to run a program in the organization. We have a neurodivergent peer support group that I host once a month, and she's been encouraging of me to go and do all these different courses and learn about it so that I could help facilitate, because we have a unusually large percentage of neurodivergent staff at Inclusive, and I think it's because we are a safe space and they gravitate towards us. So, I think that's been part of it, of just seeing that I'm very, very passionate. I'm very much a big picture person. I'm not great at the day-to-day, mundane tasks. And so she's always supported me to say, well, let's find ways to automate all that other stuff so that you don't get bored and just keep doing all the fun, exciting, big picture stuff. And that's been life-changing for me. So.
Oh, Rachel, how was that, hearing that?
I'm trying not to cry. Oh, because I'm ugly. I laughed. I say it to the team all the time. We have a running joke when they say something lovely. I say, okay, now I've ugly cried again. I don't have an attractive cry face. I'm trying not to do it right now.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. It is. It's about how we can make a difference, right? And I just love your purpose and why you do what you do, because it is, community is so important. Have you ever seen that show? You know, the Blue Zones. You know, with the Blue Zones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's,
I did an article about it actually, because it's perfect around what we actually do with social connection. And if anyone hasn't seen this show, it's about older people and actually understanding why they're getting into older age. And if you actually look at all the stories, the common theme, and yes, there's great things around food and diet and all those sorts of things, which are important. The one connector of that is connection, that they're remaining connected with their families, they're remaining connected with their community. You know, I think it's interesting from a cultural perspective, you know, how we in Australia actually treat our older people and our older generation. You know, we tend to send them away and lock them up and don't want to have to look after them or do anything with them, where in other cultures they're gods, they're elders, they're highly respected, they're the center of their communities. And I'm like, we've got it all wrong. We need to fix this. We need to treat them with that respect that they deserve, because oh my goodness, they do.
Yeah, because otherwise we lose all their wisdom, because we don't have this society that, you know, encourages them to share their wisdom. And that's what I do love about the intergenerational programs, is because it is about, you know, particularly when some of the kids that we're trying to help in the schools that might have, you know, anxiety, which is a huge issue for younger people these days. And that perspective of then connecting with a, you know, 80, 90-year-old person who can give them that understanding that you've got a long life ahead of you, and that what you're anxious about right now in 10 years won't mean anything to you. And they, you know, I just see such beautiful sharing of those wisdoms. And why would we not want to do this more? It's, you know, let's not let that wisdom disappear.
Yeah, I often say it breaks my heart to think that the people that we're connecting into our programs, if they didn't have this program for them to join, that their stories would stop, that wouldn't be there to carry on. There wouldn't be somebody to listen to and to share those experiences and to take that on and continue those on. You know, you think about through history and through all of our community and growth as a civilization, how we've continued those beautiful stories throughout. And if we don't continue to foster that, we will lose all of that. And that is just devastating to think. And they have so much to offer. And I say it all the time, I'm not supposed to have favorites in our programs. They're all amazing, amazing programs. It's like saying I've got a favorite child. Sometimes we do, but with Intergenerations program, it's one of my favorite, because I just love that mix of that knowledge passed on, and also the opposite way. I think the learning from the younger generation is fantastic to see as well, what they can offer, and taking so much from that. So it's absolutely beautiful program.
Oh, I'd love to know more about that one. And I mean, if you could go back to your younger self, like if you could go back and say something to your younger self, what would you say?
Oh, look, don't worry about your first boyfriend. You will get over that.
So true. Yeah.
But I love that point that Tasha just said. Like, I think when you are younger, you know, everything's so amplified. Everything's so intense. And because you're learning and everything's a first for you, and you think, you know, that's everything's the end of the world if something wrong happens. And it's only just the beginning. And I think if I could go back and to talk to my younger self, go, you know, use this as a lesson. Just know that there's so much more, and tomorrow's going to be a different day, and you're going to learn and grow from all of these experiences, even the horrible ones. I don't know, I think I would have been prepared for so much more. I wish that was a message that you could actually make younger people believe, because I know if I actually said that to my younger self, I go, that's so stupid. Oh, that's not right. I wouldn't have listened anyway. So, but it is something that, yeah, I think I looking back now, I love all those experiences, and you wouldn't change anything for the world because they are it's what makes you are who you are today.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in this position that you're in if anything else had happened. So
exactly. And I say the same for leadership. You know, the one thing I love about being a leader is owning my own mistakes and knowing that I learn from those. That's the most important. The reason why I might do something different today is because I've stuffed it up 10 times before, and you know, I've taken something from that. So mistakes are a great thing.
Love that advice. What about you, Tasha? What would you say to your younger self if you could give her some advice?
I think a very common phrase that has been used my entire life is too much. And for a long time, I had a real issue with the whole phrase too much, because I talked too much. I dreamed too much. Everything about me was too much. And when I got my ADHD diagnosis, my friend Tammy, who's an occupational therapist, who, when I said to her I was going to get tested, said, "How did you not know? If I thought you didn't know, I would have told you. I knew you had ADHD." And she got me this shirt that says, "If I'm too much, go find less." And that's what I think I would go back to my younger person and go, you know what? All the people that think you're too much, they can go find less, because one day you will be in a place where you will be loved for exactly all your too muchness and celebrated for it. So and I try to give my son has ADHD, and sometimes he's probably too much too. So I do try to give him that you're not too much for the right people. You're just the right amount for the right people.
You're just too much wonderful, Tasha. You're just too much wonderful.
She found a home here where I absolutely love her too much and want more of it. Yep. So is that possible? I don't know. So there you go, Tasha. Never too much.
Challenge accepted.
Well, it was so wonderful connecting with both of you today. And I would love to know if anyone would love to support, help, get involved, how can they do that? How can they reach out to you? I did put your website. Everyone can get the details around Inclusi, and also I'll put it in the comments as well. There is a comment here. I love.
So that's Sarah is lovely. Sarah also does the intergenerational programs with
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
So I'm going to put in the comments how people can get in touch with you. Thank you, Sarah. I love that one.
Thank you. Look, I'm going to do a shameless plug. We are a charity here at Inclusi. It is coming up to the 30th of June. If you haven't made any donations to worthwhile organisations, please consider Inclusi. It goes to a worthwhile cause, making sure that we're connecting people, and it is tax deductible. So that's a win-win in my view.
And in terms of anyone who might be have a business or anything, they can certainly, through the website, you can get in touch with me, because we're always looking for anybody, like I said, who might want to come and share their wisdom with our community, might want to volunteer with us. Even little things like we do a lot of virtual field trips that, if you're going off on some amazing trip, or even just a day trip, you're going to a museum, you might be willing to take your phone along and live stream into our community, so the people that can't get out of their homes for whatever reason can go to the museum with you, and you can virtually take them around. We've opened to so many different ways of supporting us. So there's something for everyone.
Absolutely. And everybody feels connected. That's what's so beautiful. Everybody gets something out of this beautiful program, regardless of how you're a part of it.
I love that. Well, you are definitely both incredibly wonderful. And it was such an honor connecting and talking with you both today about everything you do at Inclusi, your leadership, advice, guidance, and also the difference you're making to the world. It's just wonderful to have you in our tribe and to see your success and growth. And if there's anything we can do to help you as well, please ask us, because we're all about, servant leadership and kindness. And make sure, if you want to get involved in the podcast or leadership with Sonia, or even as part of the new Leadership Collective, which is all about community and wisdom as well, because we're a great believer that it is about community, and the more we can get, and that's why the awards came to fruition because we wanted greater role models. We wanted people to connect. We wanted people to learn from each other. And you just have that in spades. So thank you both so much for being on Leadership with Sonia today. And I cannot wait to see you just keep getting to that billion. We're going to get you, bring it on. We're going to get you to the billion. And if you want to support Inclusi, make sure you reach out to the team there because they are amazing. So thank you so much for being on today.
Thank you so much for having us, Sonia. We loved it. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Really appreciate what you're doing to support us. Thank you so much.
Oh, anytime. All right, everybody, stay kind and stay courageous. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.